Good morning, students. In previous class, we had read chapter 9 Kalidasa. In today's class, I am going to explain chapter 9. Title of the chapter is Kalidasa. So, all of you take out your book and try to understand whole chapter.
Students, in this story, Kalidasa was the greatest Sanskrit poet and dramatist of our country. He was a very dull, means fool child, and did not have any school education. Kalidasa was an ardent worshipper of goddess Kali, that means deep worshipper of goddess Kali. He called upon the goddess to help him. The goddess rewarded him with gifts of wit and sense. Means goddess Kali rewarded him with gifts of cleverness and good sense. He became the most brilliant, means intelligent, of the 9 games at the court of Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya was a king. In his court, Kalidasa was one of the famous gems. In this story, a nearby city lived a king who had a beautiful and intelligent daughter. Her name was Vidyavati. Vidyavati was so intelligent and beautiful also. She said, "Whoever can answer my question will be my husband." Many kings, warriors, means soldiers, and learned, means educated men tried to answer her questions, but they couldn't. That means they can't able to give answer of Vidyavati's question. They had to go away disappointed. Disappointed means frustrated. She laughed at them. She is so intelligent that she was laughing on all learned persons. They were very angry with her. Many warriors and learned persons were very angry with Vidyavati. They wanted to teach her a lesson. So One day, some disappointed, frustrated, learned man saw a young shepherd. Shepherd means a person who looks after sheep in a field, sitting on the branch of a tree. He was cutting it. The shepherd was sitting on the same branch that he was cutting. They thought how foolish this young shepherd is. He is cutting the branch on which he is sitting. Soon he will fall down due to his foolish sense. Suddenly means immediately, they had an idea. They made a plan. They asked him to go with them in the city. The shepherd agreed to do so. There they gave him tasty food to eat and delicious buttermilk to drink. Delicious means very tasty. Buttermilk means a milk in which butter is mixed. Then he slept on a soft bed. When he got up, they bathed him. They dressed him in fine clothes and tied a white and gold turban on his head. The poor illiterate shepherd now looked like a great scholar. Then they said to him, "Listen, shepherd, we are taking you to the king's palace. There the princess will ask you questions. Don't answer." That means all scholars give the shepherd idea that when princess will ask you question, you don't give the answer. Make actions with your hands. We will do the rest. The shepherd agreed. The shepherd and the learned men reached the palace. The guards took them to the princess. Vidyavati laughed when she saw the finely dressed young man. She thought, another fool has come to try his luck. The learned man said, "Princess, here is a great scholar. You can ask him any questions, but he will not speak. He will answer only with gestures." Gestures means motion of the limbs or body made to express some things. That means we use our body parts to make express something. The princess then pointed one finger at the shepherd. The learned man made sign to him. He pointed two fingers at her. Then she made more gestures. He replied with gestures. All shepherd answered in gestures form. The scholars explained the meaning of the gestures very cleverly. The princess thought, "What an intelligent man! He shall be my husband." Princess decided to marry with him. The next day, the princess married him. After the wedding was over, she had a great shock. She found out that the young scholar was an illiterate shepherd. Illiterate means not educated. She wept bitterly. She cried after knowing about him. She understood that the learned man had tricked her. What was she doing to do now? How was she going to live with a foolish husband? At last, she thought of a plan. She said to her husband, "Go to the Kali temple tonight and bolt the door from inside." That means lock the door from inside. At midnight, the goddess Kali will knock on the door and ask you to let her in. Tell her that you will open the door only if she blesses you with wisdom. Wisdom means knowledge. She gives you the blessing of knowledge. If the goddess agrees, open the door and let her in. If she doesn't agree to bless you, don't open the door. The shepherd did not know what the princess told to do. When the goddess came, she agreed to bless him with wisdom. He opened the door. Then the goddess Kali wrote the sacred letters of the Sanskrit language on his tongue. Goddess Kali wrote the sacred letters of Sanskrit language. Sanskrit is a language on his tongue. When he returned to the palace, he could sing beautiful poems in Sanskrit. The princess was very proud of him. The shepherd became a great poet after the blessing of goddess Kali. He is now called Kalidasa. In this way, a illiterate, uneducated person become a greatest Sanskrit poet and dramatist. By the blessing of goddess Kali, he was called the servant of Kali because the goddess Kali had blessed him with wisdom. That's all, students.